The story begins with chaos. The stars outside are filled with the sounds of war. A massive alien warship, sleek and powerful, is under attack by an enemy fleet. The ship shakes violently as explosions rock its hull. On the bridge, crew members are rushing to their stations, but no one seems to have control. The alarms blare. The ship's AI, usually calm and calculated, is giving urgent commands. It's clear this battle is not going in their favor. Amid the noise and destruction, we follow a lone figure, a human medic. He's not a soldier, but part of a peacekeeping mission to maintain neutrality. He's stationed on this alien ship to help, to heal. But now with the ship under siege, his medical expertise is needed more than ever. His heart races as he's called to the royal quarters. The princess is injured. When the medic bursts into the royal chamber, he's hit with a shocking sight. The alien princess, a beautiful yet powerful leader of her people, lies unconscious, her life hanging by a thread. Blood stains her royal robes. The damage is severe, deep gashes, internal injuries, and blood loss. The ship's advanced medical systems have already failed. The AI controlling the medical bays reports that her injuries are fatal. There's no time. The medic's heart pounds in his chest. He has minutes to save her, maybe less. He ignores the AI's warnings, pulls on his medical gloves, and sets to work with nothing but his human training and a few basic tools. The princess's alien physiology is complex, unlike anything he's ever seen before. Her heart rate is dropping and the ship shakes again, throwing him off balance. He fights through the chaos, moving quickly but carefully because this is her only chance. If he fails, not only will the princess die, but the fate of an entire empire could be sealed. The medic's every step is a race against time. As he works, the battle outside intensifies. The ship is taking more hits. His head spins from the pressure, but he focuses. He can hear the distant hum of laser fire as it cuts through the hull, and the ground beneath him trembles as a section of the ship is struck. He dives beneath the falling debris, narrowly avoiding a beam of red light. He reaches the princess, applying a makeshift bandage over her wound, trying to stabilize her blood pressure. The room feels like it's closing in. The walls are shaking, the air thick with smoke and metal. There's no time to waste. The medic pulls out a small device from his kit, a piece of technology humans have perfected, something not yet seen in alien medical facilities. He presses it to her chest, using it to stabilize her heartbeat. Outside, explosions continue to rattle the ship. Another wave of enemy fire slams into the vessel, and the ship begins to tilt. The medic's hands move faster now, his face covered in sweat, but his focus sharp. His mind races. I can't let her die. I can't let everything we've worked for be lost. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, the medic hears a weak gasp. Her eyes flicker open, and the princess blinks, her vision blurry. Her first thought is confusion. She's alive, but how? She tries to speak but struggles. Her gaze lands on the human medic standing over her. Her breathing is shallow, but her eyes widen with disbelief. You saved me? She whispers, her voice hoarse. The medic steps back slightly surprised. Her question is one he never thought he would hear. In all the chaos, he hadn't considered what would happen when she woke up. He is human. His species is seen as weak by her kind. How could he have done what their best medical systems could not? She looks at him with confusion. His presence, his touch. Everything she's known about humans seems wrong in this moment. She's a princess of a powerful alien race, accustomed to being revered, surrounded by technology far more advanced than anything humans have. Yet he, a mere medic, managed to save her life when all their technology failed. The medic doesn't respond at first, just watches as the princess struggles to understand what has happened. He could explain, but for now, all he can do is hold her steady, making sure she's alive, making sure she stays alive. The medic stands over her, the dim emergency lighting of the ship flickering above them. The princess, still weak but alive, stares up at him with wide eyes. Her face is full of confusion, disbelief, and a hint of something else. Could it be respect? The camera lingers on her gaze, a gaze that had once only seen humans as inferior. Now in this moment, something is shifting. Her world, her perception of the galaxy has been shattered in an instant. The princess's brow furrows, and she slowly processes the impossible. A human saved her. As the ship groans and creaks, barely holding together in the wake of the battle, the medic stands still, knowing that in this moment, everything has changed. His mission, His purpose is no longer just to save lives, it's to navigate a galaxy that might see him as the hero or the enemy. But for now, all he cares about is keeping her alive. The tension in the air is palpable as the story takes its first major twist. This is just the beginning, and everything that happens from here will depend on the unlikely bond that has just been formed. The audience is left wondering, what will happen next? As the days pass, the alien princess begins to regain her strength in the medbay. The room is quiet, save for the steady beep of the monitors and the soft hum of the life-saving machines. The medic continues his work, making sure her injuries are healing. He uses human technology, simple but effective devices, to treat her wounds, carefully monitoring her progress. Every moment he spends near her, he begins to see her not just as an alien princess, but as a person. Someone with fears, hopes, and emotions, just like any human. He can't help but feel a deep sense of responsibility for her recovery. But as she heals, a strange tension starts to build between them. She watches him with curiosity, studying his every move. She notices his quiet confidence and his dedication to her care, and she begins to wonder, why is this human so willing to risk his life for hers? One day, while she's resting, the princess asks the medic a question that surprises him. Why do humans value life so much? Why do you sacrifice so much for others, even those you don't know? The medic is taken aback for a moment. It's not a question he expected from someone who has always been surrounded by powerful, superior technology. She's a ruler, a princess of a species that values power, strength, and survival. Yet she doesn't understand the human need to protect, to sacrifice, to love. The medic explains in simple terms how humans cherish life in all its forms. He talks about love, the connection between people, and how humans believe in protecting each other no matter the cost. The princess listens intently, her eyes wide with disbelief. In her world, emotions are seen as weaknesses, and sacrifice is something reserved for the foolish. But the medic's words stir something deep within her. Over time, their conversations become more frequent. The princess opens up about her doubts, about the expectations of her people, her role in the galaxy, and the weight of her crown. The medic, though trying to remain professional, starts to feel something deeper for her. He notices the small signs of vulnerability in her eyes, the same signs he sees in people back on Earth. He begins to realize that, despite her royal status, she is more like him than he first thought. His heart begins to soften. He can't help but see her not just as a princess, but as a person who is starting to question everything she's ever known. It's a dangerous feeling, one that he struggles to keep under control as he continues to care for her. But even as the princess grows stronger, trouble brews outside the med bay. Her people, the royal council, are demanding her return. They see her as a symbol of their power and their future. They view humans as lesser beings and are uncomfortable with the idea that one of their own, a princess, was saved by a human. The princess feels torn. She's beginning to question the values of her own people, wondering if they're wrong about humans. Yet the pressure from her own kind is immense. The medic knows this. He's seen it in the way her eyes darken when the subject of her return comes up. This growing tension between what the princess is learning about humans and the demands of her royal duties sets the stage for an inevitable conflict. The medic's actions have planted seeds of doubt in her mind about her people's values. As she recovers, she finds herself facing an impossible choice. Will she follow her people's expectations, or will she embrace the humanity she's beginning to understand? The story is only beginning, and the stakes have never been higher. As the princess's recovery progresses, the political climate aboard the ship becomes more tense. Her interactions with the human medic are beginning to raise serious questions among the alien royal council. The princess has always been a symbol of strength and authority, and now her relationship with a human, a species they have always seen as inferior, is seen as a potential political disaster. Her people argue that showing any kindness toward humans could weaken their alliances with other powerful species, potentially leaving them vulnerable. The princess is warned that if she continues to associate with the medic, it could spark a political crisis that would have dangerous consequences for her and her people. At the same time, the medic faces harsh criticism from his own side. Humanity is at war with the alien empire, and many see his actions as treasonous. The idea of aiding the enemy, especially a princess, feels like betrayal to those who believe in defending Earth at all costs. But the medic is resolute, refusing to abandon his duty, even as the weight of the situation presses down on him. The medic, though highly skilled and dedicated, is caught in a struggle far larger than himself. He stands alone against the political forces of two powerful factions, the princess's own people and his own government. He is just one man, and the politics of galactic war seem overwhelming. His position in this grand conflict may seem insignificant, but his refusal to give up on the princess shows that, in the face of danger, humanity's true strength lies not in military might, but in the courage of individuals. He is, in every sense, an underdog. No one expects him to succeed in changing the course of events or convincing the princess to challenge her people's beliefs. Yet, with every action he takes, every decision he makes, he proves that sometimes one small act of compassion can shake the foundations of even the most powerful empire. During a quiet moment as the ship drifts through the vastness of space, the princess opens up to the medic. She admits that in all her life, she has never encountered someone like him, someone who doesn't act out of greed or a thirst for power. For the first time, she feels something she had never understood before. Trust. It's a feeling foreign to her, but it's also one of the most human things she's ever experienced. In this moment, she realizes that the medic is different from the cold, calculating beings of her world. The medic, moved by her vulnerability, quietly admits that she's changed his life. He never expected to feel this way, especially toward someone from a race he was taught to see as an enemy. But his experiences with her, her humanity, her strength, and her struggles, have begun to shape his understanding of what's truly important. The connection between them is undeniable, but it's also a dangerous one. Both of them know the consequences of their growing bond, and yet they can't seem to stop themselves from becoming closer. As the political pressure mounts, the atmosphere on the warship becomes tense and suffocating. The ship's advanced technology, which had once seemed so impressive, now feels oppressive. Cloaking devices shimmer in and out of view, rendering the ship almost invisible, a symbol of the secrets and hidden agendas unfolding aboard. The cold, calculating AI oversees operations, its metallic voice a constant reminder of the Empire's unyielding power. In the silent, dimly lit halls of the ship where conspiracies unfold, every shadow seems to hide something ominous. The corridors are eerily quiet, and the air feels thick with tension. You can almost hear the whispers of those who want to see the princess back in line, and the medic can feel the weight of every decision he makes. This is no longer just a battle for survival. It's a battle for the future of both their worlds, and the cost of failure is unimaginable. Just when it seems like the princess is about to return to her royal duties and leave the medic behind, tragedy strikes. A covert assassination attempt is made on her life, orchestrated by those who fear the shift in her beliefs. The attack comes without warning, and the princess is caught in the crossfire. This time, the stakes are higher than ever. Not only is the princess's life at risk, but so is the medic's. He knows that if they fail, they both will be lost, and the political fallout could mean the end for both of them. The danger is immediate and overwhelming. The princess's life is once again hanging by a thread, and there's no time for hesitation. The medic, already emotionally invested in her well-being, has to act quickly. His first instinct is to protect her, but he knows that the threat is far too great for just one person to handle. With the ship under siege, the medic must rely on every ounce of his skill and resourcefulness to save the princess. He scours the ship for alien technology, high-tech weapons, cloaking devices, and shields that he can use to defend them both. As the attack intensifies, the medic uses everything at his disposal to outsmart their enemies. The scene plays out like a cinematic battle, with high-tech gadgets and futuristic combat filling every moment. The medic sets cunning traps, using his quick thinking to disarm enemies and buy himself precious seconds. There are moments of close-quarters combat as he fights off robotic soldiers and elite alien assassins, all while trying to shield the princess from harm. Explosions rock the ship, and the sound of lasers firing fills the air. Cloaking devices flicker in and out of visibility, adding a layer of tension to the scene as the medic and princess attempt to remain unseen by their enemies. The chaos around them is relentless, but the medic's determination is unyielding. He knows that every second counts and that failure is not an option. He won't let the princess fall again. In the midst of the firefight, one of the medic's closest allies, a soldier named Bonner, steps in to help. Bonner, knowing the risks, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He holds off the attackers to buy the medic and the princess some precious time to escape. As Bonner is struck down, the medic is left shaken, but more determined than ever to protect the princess. Bonner's sacrifice is a brutal reminder of the stakes they face. The loss of his comrade hits the medic hard, stirring up emotions he's been trying to keep buried. The weight of the loss fuels his resolve, making him fight with even more intensity. Bonner's death is not in vain, and it strengthens the bond between the medic and the princess. Now more than ever, the medic knows that their survival means everything. In the middle of the fight, as the medic tends to Bonner's fallen body, the princess witnesses firsthand the depth of the medic's loyalty. His willingness to risk everything for her, even at the cost of his own life, is a revelation. For the first time, she sees the true meaning of sacrifice and the kind of person the medic is. With the battle still raging around them, the princess is forced to confront a painful decision. Her people expect her to return to them, to follow orders, and to uphold the traditions of her empire. But the medic's actions have opened her eyes to a new way of thinking. A way of thinking where loyalty, honor, and compassion matter more than politics. Now she must decide. Will she return to her people and follow their commands, or will she stand by the human who has shown her that not all beings are driven by power or self-interest? The weight of her choice is enormous, and the consequences will affect not just their lives, but the future of both their worlds. As the smoke of battle clears and the medic stands beside her, the princess faces a choice that will define the future of not only her people, but also humanity. In a bold move that shocks everyone, she refuses to return to her empire. Instead, she chooses to stand by the medic, the human who saved her life and changed her way of thinking. She decides to fight for what she now believes is right, an alliance built on mutual respect and understanding, not fear or control. This decision is a moment of profound growth for her, and it surprises both their enemies and allies alike. Her decision to stand by the medic is not only a personal choice, but a political one, shaking the very foundation of her empire. She knows it will cost her everything, her title, her status, and possibly her life. But in her heart, she understands that true power lies in fighting for what is just, not what is easy. The medic, who had never expected this outcome, stands by her side, ready to face whatever comes next. The final battle is an epic, heart-pounding confrontation. The battle takes place in the depths of space, with the fate of both the princess's empire and humanity hanging in the balance. The AI-controlled forces, led by a cold, calculating machine intelligence, launch a full-scale attack determined to crush the rebellion before it can spread. The fight is intense. Orbital bombardments rain down from the skies, with entire fleets of ships clashing in the void of space. The medic and the princess fight together side by side, using a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology to outmaneuver the AI's robotic army. Energy shields crack under the force of powerful blasts, and the sounds of war echo through the ship as both human and alien forces clash in close quarters. The AI's cold logic and precision are no match for the raw passion and determination of the medic and princess. In one intense scene, the princess uses advanced alien tech to protect the medic, proving that despite her initial doubts, she has come to trust him completely. Meanwhile, the medic uses his human cunning to disable the AI's most dangerous weapons, turning the tide of battle in their favor. When the smoke finally clears and the last of the AI forces are defeated, the princess stands victorious. She has faced impossible odds, and now, in this moment of triumph, she makes a bold declaration. In front of the surviving leaders of both her empire and the human forces, she announces that the war between her people and humanity must end. The time for violence and fear is over. Instead, she calls for a new alliance, one founded on the principles of mutual respect, trust, and cooperation. The medic, who had only ever wanted to heal and protect, now stands as a symbol of hope. His actions, his love for the princess, and his belief in humanity's capacity for goodness have helped shape this new path. As the princess delivers her revolutionary speech, the medic watches with pride. He knows that their love, their shared sacrifices, and their willingness to fight for something greater than themselves have changed the fate of two civilizations forever. The princess and the medic stand together, their bond stronger than ever, ready to face a new future, one where peace and understanding can flourish in the wake of war. Their story is a reminder that even in the darkest times, the courage to choose what is right can change everything.